Tim Pancakes.
Hello everybody, Tim Pancakes here, and today I am doing a starter home. To do this, I went to a 20 by 15 lot in Newcrest. This is in the upper quadrant, or I guess it's not really a quadrant, but in the upper neighborhood where there are several lots. I don't know if I'm not describing this very well, but anyway, the topmost lot is a 20 by 15, and that is what this lot is. So, in order to truly make this a starter home, I gave my sim 20,000 simoleons and then purchased this lot, which was 1,500, and then built until I hit 0. So if you move a sim onto this lot, they should be able to afford it, and then they'll have 0 simoleons. So from there, you'll just want to get a job right away and start saving up some money. You could also sell a few things if you wanted to get a few bucks, or you could have a sim who has more than 20,000 simoleons move in. But I went ahead and got the floor plan down first, obviously. I knew going into this that I wanted it to be a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, because a lot of starters are usually 1-bedroom, and it's meant for either a young couple that's just starting out, or it's meant for a single sim, and then you can't, there's rarely any room to grow or, build on or anything like that. So I felt like this home, my goal was to create a 3-bedroom space where it's not decorated for 3 bedrooms right now, but if you were to move a starter sim in, they would be able to live here for a long time, and you can fill the rooms and change their uses and things like that. I also don't build too far back, so you could extend the home or whatnot if you wanted to. I did run out of money, so there's not a whole lot in the way of landscaping or a backyard. I really wanted to try to get as much into the house as I could, and doing 3 bedrooms definitely proved challenging because, I couldn't spread the money, I don't know, I'm trying to say. I had a hard time spreading the money, I guess. So I spent a little bit of time trying to make the roof work. These are always a pain. I always talk about it. And while I was building, I was watching a Hallmark Christmas movie on Hulu. So I don't even know if they're called They're probably not called Hallmark. They are probably not called Hallmark Christmas movies since it was on Hulu. But I basically just watched one of those feel-good, sappy movies. I don't even know which one it was. I think I watched like 3 of them in a row. I know the first one I watched was Happiest Season, which was actually good, and that one's probably better than most of the Hallmarks because that one had a lot of named stars, and it was like an LGBT movie with Kristen Stewart and a whole bunch of other folks that are very familiar. So that was fun. It was okay. Like I watched it twice because I watched it once by myself, and then my brother and sister-in-law, well, my sister-in-law wanted to watch it, and my brother went along with us. So we watched it again the next day, and I cried at the end, and it's sweet, and my issues with it are really just kind of how horrible one of the characters is, and it was bad enough that it kind of took me out of the story because it wasn't as believable. I'm like, this is not realistic, but whatever. So that was the first one I watched, and then I was in the mood, so I ended up watching, I think, Holly Lane or Christmas on Holly Lane, which was about 3 childhood friends who all grow up and have their own issues and come together again for Christmas and work together to solve each other's problems. And so that was fun. And then there was a third movie, which I don't remember what it was called, but it had to do with high schoolers being mean and bullying. And I think the only thing that was I think it was like about a Christmas concert, a solo at a Christmas concert. So that was the Christmas spin on that. And so I spent about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes building this house. And so I don't remember which one of the three movies I was watching, but it was one of those that I was watching while working on this. And I didn't edit out any of the footage. This is you get to enjoy from start to finish everything that I did, changing out the windows and playing with the roof, and you know, I hope you enjoy. But the floor plan really just came together, and because I was trying to use the cheaper items, it ends up looking like a really kind of old house. And so this is the third house in a row where it's got that older vibe. My limited pack build with the bowling night stuff and the Get Famous stuff, that was older, and that it was kind of a 60s or 70s designed mid-century modern home. And then the last house I did, which was my last swatch challenge, ended up kind of being a grandparent's house, just because I also used kind of old style furnishings and finishes. And here we are doing a starter, which, as you can see, I just think it looks like an older house. The interior is a little bit more young and more of a starter. I kind of imagined that either a single sim or a young couple live here, and they don't have a child yet, but one of the bedrooms is the start of a nursery. I thought about adding a bassinet, but that was 150 simoleons, and when you have a baby in The Sims, you just get a free bassinet. So I figured I'd save the cash, and when they have when they do start a family, they can add that. But right now, it's just kind of the start of a nursery / kids room. And it's a good size room, so as they grow into a teen, or if you have multiple children, they can share. And there's a lot of room in there, so that's a good start, I thought. And then there's the master bedroom right there next to it, and then a bathroom down here. And upstairs, right now, it's just one big room. Well, technically, there's a hallway and then a room, which would really be a better master bedroom, but I wanted to be nearer the bathroom, and I knew that I didn't have a lot of funds to fully furnish, so I felt like for right now, maybe they first move in and use that downstairs bedroom, and then as you play, or as the family grows, or as their circumstances change, you can always move upstairs for the master if you felt like it, or maybe even turn that into a kids' room or a kids' hangout. But right now it's set as an office. And I do not think I had enough money for a computer or a laptop, so right now there's nothing on the desk like that. But there are still some skill building items and a bookcase and a TV. So there's not nothing to do in this house, but once you get a job and start saving some money, you can definitely beef things up a little bit and decorate it better. I just felt like this was a good start. Yeah, I kept having to catch myself because I would want to use things that were a bit more expensive that are my go-to items, but I was like, I'm gonna start with the cheaper item and go from there. One thing, now that I'm kind of watching it back again, there's not a whole lot of options for different layouts with that living room. It's pretty small. But again, it is a starter home, so I figure they're a little bit limited, and that will be okay. We could always move that child room door down a little bit so that there's a better gap there, and maybe a sofa can go against the wall between the two doors or something, but for right now it's just sitting in the center of the room. But yeah, I went all the way down to I had 5 simoleons left, so I went through and found an item to just deplete my funds completely and got down to a 0 base budget. So I do think I have some Sims that are getting ready to graduate from university in my offline gameplay. So what I'll probably do is have 2 of them get married and then buy this house right away and live here as they grow their family and everything. I just posted a teaser video for the next season of King Karen's Quest, where we're playing King's Quest, which is an old adventure game from the 80s and 90s that I loved playing as a kid. And Karen had never played or heard of. So we've been going through and playing that series together, and after a few months, I finally got around to editing more of those videos. So we are just about to start King's Quest 3. I do have playlists on my channel of the other King's Quest games. And I know this is a Sims channel, but it is fun to add additional content. And my King's Quest videos get views, so you must like them too. But if nothing else, it's just fun for Karen and I to spend time together, because we do live in 2 different states and 2 different time zones. However, with my upcoming move, I'm going to be in her time zone, and I'll actually only be about 45 minutes away from her. So we are both really looking forward to that. Even though I am not looking forward to moving again, because I have moved so much. Not even in the last year and a half. I've moved a ton in my lifetime, and I hate moving, but anyone that you talk to in my personal life would probably roll their eyes because I do it so often, but I just do. I want it. I want more than anything just to find a place and put down roots and turn it into a home and grow there. I want to find my own starter home. So, someday that's the dream. But for now, I'm moving again. But it is for a neat job opportunity. I'm excited for that, and to pay down some debt and get into a better financial situation, especially during a pandemic. Nothing. I think this pandemic definitely showed a lot of people how important it is to have a savings, and fortunately I did have a bit of a savings, but I blew through that pretty quickly, and then unemployment, and have had a few different jobs during this time, and it's been hard, and I know I'm not the only one struggling. I know a lot of you are probably having a hard go at it too, and on top of all of that, there's the election, and on top of that, there's mental health issues to be monitoring and everything like that. So it's just been a rough time for everybody, and I want it to be done. So I'm hoping that getting moved and unpacking and living alone again, I think, will be huge for me, because I haven't lived alone for a couple of years, and I love my family. I've lived with my sister for the last couple of years, and I lived with my brother for the last couple of months, or a couple of weeks. It's been about a month or so, I suppose, and I love my family, and it's been great having that time with them and bonding and, improving our relationships. But I just, as a young 30-something single guy, I like to live alone. There's some independence that's pretty nice. And I wanted to add some decorations in the home too, just so it wasn't a completely blank slate. I did want it to feel somewhat warm and cozy, and so there's things that are mixed-matched and, will be upgraded over time, but it's a start. I figure these Sims are graduating university, so they're probably like 21, 22, around there, and they're not going to have a whole lot of fancy stuff. At least my Sims aren't. And I love dormers. I've never lived in a home that had dormers, and I think that's why I'm so fascinated with them in all of my builds lately. I do need to scale back on that, but it's been fun adding them into the builds. I think ever since Sims 2 with the Pleasant House, and they had those dormers in Lilith and Angela's bedrooms, I've just always loved having them in my Sims builds and downloading houses from the gallery. Another reason I wanted to do this build like this is that a lot of the houses I download from the gallery, if it's a starter, it's very basic and doesn't feel lived in. All the starters in the Sims game that come with the game are also pretty terrible. So I wanted to have a little bit more personality, a little bit more warmth. But so many houses that I download from the gallery that are like fully furnished or decorated are like very established family. It's designed for a teen or parents, and there's a full office, and the house is just filled, and so I have to try to either adjust the home to fit the family that I have for it, or wait until I have a family that's at that place in their life and then move them in. And then I don't know, and I have a hard time playing a family that's established. Like I'd rather grow a family from the parents, and they have kids, and then watch the kids grow up and everything like that. And so to just create a family in the game and create a sim, or to download a family, I don't feel that connection with them unless it's, a family that I've known since their origin, I guess, if that makes any kind of sense. So it's fun to download houses that are already built and completely furnished and ready for an established family, but it's hard for me to find a family that perfectly fits into that home. Oh, and I am coming to the end of the video here. I'm just finishing up. I guess that's a bonus perk of a starter, is it moves quickly. So thank you so much for watching. We're going to cut to the screenshots here, and that's a stack.